Well, back again at it. Today we got quite a bit to talk about. A lot of crazy stuff has happened today, but we're going to get straight into it. So, if you haven't heard, Prince Andrews, well, former Prince Andrews, he was stripped of his title as the British Empire. What did he call it? He was the Duke of York. Pretty much just white supremacy in modern day 2026. They invented a lot of racial hierarchies to this planet Earth. Neither that to say, we're going to talk about what his name is, Andrew Mortimer Windsor. And he got arrested today on his birthday. If you know anything about him, he was connected with the Epstein's files. So pretty much what they're saying about him is, one, he was arrested for suspicion of misconduct in public office. With the Epstein files coming out, right, they're finding a lot of his emails and communications he's made with a lot of people. Now, with former Prince Andrews, who was stripped from his title by Prince Charles, so that he just goes by Andrew Mortimer Windsor now. They took his whole title from him and everything. And he's not able to stay in the Royal Palace and Buckingham Palace or anything. He's been excommunicado, 86th, right? And so through these Epstein files coming out, they see emails with him and Epstein talking. They were really close friends. And he was giving Epstein trade secrets to Epstein to then pass on to his buddies, friends, or leverage for himself for personal gain. So when they seen that, then what they also found out, and has been known when he was stripped of his title, that former Prince Andrews, now just Andrew Mortimer Windsor, he was engaged in Epstein sex trafficking ring that he had going on. In fact, they said that Epstein would this is one of the major offenses he did, which I don't think it doesn't matter where you go with an underage girl, but he brought an underage girl into the Buckingham Palace and had sexual relations with that girl. Now, what makes it so creepy is he tries to act like, oh, I had no idea what was going on. But he was friends with Epstein after he was already convicted in 2008 of soliciting prostitution of a minor. Let me say that again. He was friends with him before and after he was found guilty in 2008. Epstein was found guilty of 2008. So once again, former Prince Andrew Mortimer of Windsor right now, was friends with Epstein before he was found guilty in 2008 of soliciting prostitution from a minor. And then he stayed friends with him after he was found guilty. I don't know about you, but if any of my friends were found guilty, even the accusations alone, I have to step back a little. You know what I'm saying? There's a long history of black men being accused of certain sexual deviant behaviors. We're not going to get into that. But he's friends with him after. I can't be friends with you after you've been convicted of I don't know what you want here. We can't hang out. I can't be seen with you at all. So anyway, the man has 2 daughters. He was found with that. Epstein trafficked women using the Royal Palace's airport landing stage too. This is how deep this thing is going, right? And the reason why but anyway, hold on. Let's just run this clip and we're going to run the clip real quick about
former Prince Andrew has been arrested on suspicion of misconduct in public office. Now known as Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, he was taken into custody in Norfolk just a short while ago. He is accused of allegedly sharing confidential information with the late sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Mountbatten Windsor has previously denied any wrongdoing over his ties to Epstein. King Charles had stripped his brother of his titles back in October and has since evicted him from Windsor. Let's get back down to CNN's Salma Abdulaziz, who joins us live in London. Salma, what's the latest that you're hearing?
I want to start by asking maybe questions of what we don't know and what we do know so far. So we do know that he's been arrested on suspicion of misconduct in public office, but there's a lot of details that are still missing here, of course, Rahel. We don't know the specifics of the allegations of this investigation by the police. We're talking about a period of time between 2001 to 2011 when he was representing the UK as a trade envoy. But what are the specific allegations, the specific accusations accusations of misconduct? We don't yet know that. What information actually prompted Thames Valley Police to make this arrest? That's the key question here, because we understand that they have been assessing this claim for some time now, I would say a period of days. That latest trove of emails where we see these allegations come to light has been out for a few weeks now. So what was the trigger? What was the switch? What was it that the police held on to that said, okay, now is the time when we need to take this very extraordinary action, of course, in this country? We also don't know where Andrew Mountbatten Windsor is currently being held. We don't know where he is being held. We simply know that he's been arrested, but we don't know any details beyond that or what the status of that is in terms of his arrest. And we still don't know if he's been interviewed under caution. That's what it's described as in this country. So essentially, has he been asked questions? Has he sat down with a police officer and been asked questions as of yet? And where has he been asked these questions? What location has he been taken to? What do we actually know right now? Well, what we do know is Mr. Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, former Prince Andrew, who only earlier this month was forced out of the royal residence, pushed into his brother's residence, the Sandringham estate, which is currently being searched by police, has now faced a watershed moment, really, not just for himself, but for the royal family and really for this country at large, being arrested. Now, again, being arrested does not mean being guilty. We do not know the specifics here of why the police have taken this extraordinary action of arrest. That is the detail we need. But you can imagine that the royal family is reeling. King Charles has been trying to get ahead of this time and time again. Last year, he stripped his brother of all his royal titles. I said he's pushed him out of the royal residence. He even took this really extraordinary step of preempting the possibility of this happening right now by saying he was willing to support the police in any inquiry that they had. So there's going to be a sense in this country, first of all, that this has caught up with Prince Andrew. He has been long under question, long under suspicion for his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein, a relationship that he appears to have lied about in the past, saying that he ended his relationship with Mr. Epstein once he was a convicted sex offender, so around 2008. Now, in these latest email troves, that does not appear to be the case. And it is now clear that he did continue that relationship after Epstein was convicted. And it is that information that led King Charles to strip him of his royal titles, to take these extraordinary steps to try to get ahead of what's happening here. But again, it has caught up with them. There is going to be also a bit of empathy, I imagine, in this country for his family, the York family as they are known here. He has 2 young daughters. They're in their 30s. They have their own families. Their faces have been splashed all over the media for the last few days. So many questions here swirling around what is, first of all, a family that represents this country, the monarchy as an institution, and how Mr. Andrew Mountbatten Windsor represented it as a trade envoy. And I did write down some details of the emails that could be in question here. Around 2010, he appears to have forwarded government report visits, details of those visits in Vietnam, Singapore, China. There are emails that indicate that Mountbatten Windsor forwarded investment opportunities for gold and uranium in Afghanistan. He had a duty of confidentiality between 2001 and 2011 as trade envoy. Did he abuse the public office? Did he violate government information? Did he violate the Pact for Confidentiality? That is the question the police are asking right now. The details around that, we have yet to know.
Okay, so he's being arrested for suspicion, right, of misconduct in public office. They haven't charged him with child Listen, I've read a couple of these files. There's millions of papers, so I've just been following different people. I don't think you guys understand how sickening Epstein and company was. They really have pictures of underage women doing sexual acts with children. There's a picture of Andrew Mountbatten Windsor crouching over a woman who's passed out. I don't know what's happening, but there's a picture. Now, is it a coincidence where you have Bill Gates who hung out with him? And Bill Gates apparently had an STD, and so he had to, this is the reason why him and his wife are divorced, had to secretly get some pills from And these are all in emails. You guys are emailing each other. This is just like these rap guys. Like, why are you guys emailing crimes? There was a professor from Harvard that emailed Epstein and was like, oh my God, thank God I didn't kill anyone last night. And everyone's sitting wondering, like, what did he mean? And it was sounding serious. So Bill Gates got an STD. Bill Clinton been on the Lolita Express. He's been to the island. Bill Clinton, Jesus. Bill, who knew that Monica Lewinsky thing was just the tip of the iceberg? You are a sexual deviant, Bill Gates, Bill Clinton, and Bill Gates. You guys are insane. Trump is best friends with him for over 10 years. Elon Musk was requesting to go to the island. And then Prince Andrews, and there's many more. Found out, all right, we're not going to bring those two brothers up because we don't know what that's about. But there are many more. So what we're pretty much trying to say right now is this was all like under the heap, but right now it's, I think what the least try to do was try to push it away. They thought it would go away. But it's still coming, especially when this lady in Australia named Virginia Giuffre, right? She accused Prince Andrews of having sex with her while being a minor. She's living, she's alive, Prince Andrews. She's only like in her mid 40s, late 40s. She's not old. And she wrote a whole book about you. Andrew Martin. I'm not sorry, I said Martin. Is that like off of a TV show? I think that's off Lord of the Rings. I used to watch that when I was a kid until I realized it was white supremacy again. But anyway, guys, these people are freaks. They're insane people. They are billionaire, elitist, white supremacist class people. I mean, that's at least that wing of it. And there's probably some Asian dignitaries, there's probably some Africans. It's just these multi-billionaire people who have nothing better to do with their time but buy children. Like, they have a real... Look, I know people always talk about these conspiracy theories. This isn't a conspiracy theory. It's right here in your face. These people have billions of dollars and they believe they're above the law. They can do whatever they want and get away with whatever they want. So right now it's a coming to Jesus moment in the UK. They're taking it way more serious than in America and the States. But I'm actually, one thing I know people always make this ratio. I'm proud of us black people. We're not really too caught up in this. Is there sexual deviant issues in the black community? Yes. But I found that in the white community, especially, it's more prevalent. It is like, you're the Duke of York, Prince Andrews, and you're bringing underage children into the palace. Goodness gracious. So is there anything else we want to talk about? We got to talk about the Lolita Express. Oh yeah, he was sold confidential trade information to Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein, I don't know. I'm not a huge conspiracy theorist. I'm starting to think like Jeffrey Epstein's not dead. I think he's alive somewhere. I think they just faked his death and because this is too connected. He knows everybody. And he has dirt on everybody. I think they all said, we're just going to say he committed suicide. And after we say he committed suicide, that's that. We're not going back and forth anymore. And let him disappear in some exiled in some country in Australia or South Africa in some all white, you know what I'm saying, Poland or something, and let him just, you know what I mean, just fade into the population, get some plastic surgery and disappear. They said that Epstein had a whole drawer just for Donald Trump. Just like a whole little, I'm just gonna save this for Donald Trump. Jesus Christ. And then Donald, have you heard about what they would do at Mar-a-Lago? They would have beauty pageants. They said Epstein figured out ways to traffic better by hanging with Donald Trump. That whole beauty pageant, Miss America, Mrs. Universe, was nothing but sex traveling. I remember watching it as a kid, like, oh, this is great. Not knowing what was going on behind the scenes. Like, goodness gracious. So, guys, right now the House Oversight Committee, the House Oversight Committee is the one in charge of this Epstein situation. And you've seen Pam Bondi the other day did not take it serious. America in particular is not taking this serious because I think when we start really peeling back the layers, it's going to be a lot of nasty, disgusting behavior and a lot of underage people. Like, if you really look into the files, they got like pictures of redacted pictures of like I'm not saying that I like looking at it, I was just watching somebody's page, like, well, they'll blur out the face, blow out the private parts, but you can just tell it's a child. And you're just sitting there going, like, who in there? They have pictures of young children doing, oh my God. It's all redacted and pixelated and stuff like that, so don't worry about having to see it. You're not going to see nothing, but I would implore people to read through that stuff because it's real. Like, and these are the people who are trusted public figures who are supposed to keep you safe are those same ones doing the dirt. It's like, goodness, how do you even fight back against that? Yeah, so the gist of it, the monarchy is in huge trouble right now. Their son, Prince Andrew Mortabin of Windsor, has been arrested. He was fired before, stripped of all his titles, because they knew this was coming. Because they figured out exactly what he was doing. And yeah, now he's arrested. There's no arrest photos. They don't have any mug shots. I don't know how they do it in the UK, but in the United States, that information is made public. We even saw Donald Trump when he was arrested in Fulton County, here in Atlanta, Georgia. But yeah, so we're going to see where this goes. Hopefully he does the rest of his life in prison. That's what I would like to see. When it comes to women and children, there's no mercy. Like I can't even explain this. Like, then there's things of murder. There's text messages in there talking about hide the bodies, bury the bodies. Oh, like I said, a Harvard professor says, oh, I thank God I didn't kill anybody last night. There's an email exchange between the one of the head lawyers for Goldman Sachs, I believe, or was it Chase Bank or Wells Fargo, one of those. The head lady on there was just fired, because her name came up inside the Epstein files. They say Donald Trump's name comes up more in the Epstein files than Jesus' name comes up in the Bible. Donald Trump's name comes up more in the Epstein files, percentage-wise, than Jesus' name comes up in the Bible. Donald Trump, we're going to find out Donald Trump isn't just a visitor of this world, of Epstein's world. Donald Trump probably helped curate, create it, and probably even ran it. We're going to find out. This is insane. So anyway, guys, we're gonna stay in tune with this, because I feel like before I was just like, this is white people problems. But then after a while I was like, this thing is spreading so wild. I really want to see what else does it go into, because they said he spent a lot of time in Africa and things of that nature. So we'll check that out. Y'all be safe. Hide your kids, man. Make sure you know where them kids at. Look at that cell phone. Look at Roblox. Do not let your kids out your sight around weird, rich, billionaire white guys, because you have no idea what they got in store for them.